For project 10-4, we're going to use the SFA grades worksheet all the way over on the right of all the worksheets in the Lesson 10 workbook. So in this one, we have a lot of student data, and these are, so we've got their names, ID numbers, and some grades for their final grade, and then a grade at the quarter, a grade at the semester. So we're going to use this little table over here to give us a little more information about the grades and the students. So first of all, click in J2, and we're going to put a formula to count how many students there are in our class. And to do that, we need the count formula. So equals count, and there's a few different count formulas as we have learned. And the regular count formula will will record whether there are numbers in a cell or not. And so we just want names. We have names, and so we want to record if there's something in the cell. So this count A formula will just give us results if there is anything in the cell. If it's blank, it will not count it. But if there's something in there, it will count it. So it's not specific to numbers. So I'm going to click arrange from A4 down to A41. Don't include A3 because that's not a name, that's the heading of that category. And then press enter. So there are 38 students. Now for the final grades, I want to know how many A's I had and how many B's, C's, D's, and F's for all the students. For the final grade, for the quarter, and the semester grades. So this will be a few different formulas, and it'll take a little bit of adjusting. So first of all, let's make a formula to count, to find how many A's. So we're going to do an if statement again, as we've done before. So equals, and we're going to use count, another count formula, but it's going to be COUNTIF. So double click COUNTIF. So it's going to count it if there's certain criteria. So first we select the range, and then we'll select what criteria we're looking for. So the range for this one is right here, E4 down to E41. And don't press enter because we need to put in the criteria. So right here gives us a little help. We need to put a comma, and then we can add the criteria. So the criteria is if it finds an A or not. So we want a specific letter that it's looking for, so we're going to put it in quotations. So do quotations and then A and end the quotations. And then you can hit enter. Make sure you have the quotations there, otherwise it won't find them. So now it says that there are 4 A's in that section. We could go through and count them, but I've done it already. Don't bother. It's correct. So now let's copy this to the quarter and the semester grades and see if it changed the formula for us. I just double click on it, and it did. It went to that next column, and the other one went to the semester column, and it found 2 A's there and 4 A's in the semester. So now we want to change the formula a little bit for the different grades. So I could copy this down, but then I'd have to check it. So if I double click here, it's got a problem because it's moving that range down 1 each time. Moves down 1, moves down 1, moves down 1. And the other problem is that it's always looking for A's, and we want it to look for different grades. So we got to change it just a little bit. So if you activate cell J5, we're looking for B's, and we need to move the range a little bit. So let's change it to B first. So I just click up here and type B, and then in the range right here, I'm just going to click and drag it up 1, and then press enter. Okay, same thing for this, except we're going to change it to C and move this up twice now. Press enter. And then we're going to go to grade D and move that up. Oops. Press enter, and then the last one, F, and move it up several spaces. And I could go down and check to make sure it's there at the bottom, but it's the same amount as before. We just need to move it. Okay, so now we've got grades for B's, C's, D's, and F's. And then I can just select all 3 of these and drag them over to the quarter and the semester, and it should move them over like it did before. And I can just check real quick. That one moved over to quarter, and that one moved over to semester. So that's correct. We've got grades, and we can analyze this data a little further and figure out how many, how the students are doing a little better. Save that, and that's it for lesson 10.